What does it mean to have good manners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So one of the righteous, he said that good manners with Allah is not refusing what He's given you, right? So, for example, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went into his house and he asked, "Is there anything to eat?" And one of his wives said, almost apologetically, that we've only got vinegar. Like, so there was bread to eat, but Arab bread is hard the way they baked it, and it would last a while. So it needs to be dipped into something to soften it. So the only condiment we have is vinegar. He said, "Ni'mal idamul khal." What an excellent condiment vinegar is. And what he was doing there is he was appreciating the blessing of vinegar, appreciating a gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him. And that's a huge thing, right? That's part of the adab that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if Allah gives you something, then, you act in a way that's, you do what you can to show appreciation for that blessing. Adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, once again, if Allah puts you in a situation in life, then you accept that this situation that Allah has given me, firstly, if it's a problem and there's a practical solution, the Sunnah teaches us, find that practical solution. If you're ill, go to a doctor. If your car's broken down, go to a mechanic, right? So you do that. You do all of these, you take the steps to resolve the situation. Once all the practical steps have been exhausted and nothing's fixing it, then the adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to just sit still, be in that situation, and understand that what's best for you is this situation. Allah's given you this situation for your benefit. So adab with Allah is, once again, not to refuse what He's given you. So if He's given you a situation that there's no way out of, you can't control, you can't do anything about, just sit there, right? And your patience in that situation that's beyond your control is greater than the tahajjud of people that don't have your problem, right? As-salatu nur was-sabru diya, the Prophet said sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The prayer is a light. And he then said, well, sadaqatu burhan. But let's focus on this. So he said the prayer is a bright light. But sabr was sabru diya, intensely hot, bright, burning light. Really, there's a huge difference. Imagine having a good torch, like a nice LED torch, very bright or whatever. But you try waving your torch around in the day, in broad daylight. It's not going to illuminate much, is it? Why? Because the sun compared to that is a diya. So, difficult situation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the person, and they just say, fine, I can't do anything, but I shall sit with this, I shall be here, accepting my obedience and my slavehood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is patience. And that is huge, and the effect it has on your iman, the gifts that Allah gives to those who are patient, are much greater than those who just do lots of good without having that patience element involved in it. So that's good manners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And good manners with Allah in the general sense then is living like the Prophet did, doing your best to embody the sunnah and the way of the Prophet, his character and his relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking for forgiveness out of adab, thanking Allah out of adab, worshipping Allah out of adab, being good and kind to people out of adab, anything you can, doing it the way the Prophet would do it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's adab, right? And that's the adab with Allah.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.